What is not being said is usually more powerful than what is being said. As a policy professional, I'm committed to ensuring that unheard voices are seen and their needs are addressed. I'm Mahesh and I'm here to talk about my latest project which received an award under the FIME Small Awards program by the Global Evaluation Initiative, which is administered by the World Bank and Eval Gender Plus. This project is being funded by Global Affairs Canada. So FIME stands for Feminist Innovation in Monitoring and Evaluation. So this video is for anyone curious about learning how gender-focused policies by, let's say, NGOs, multilateral organizations or governments operate and how it can be improved. Let's start with something simple, the policy life cycle. Think of it like a journey. Let's say you are the Prime Minister of a country and your country has a problem of low literacy rates. How do we start solving this problem? We first define what the problem is, right? For instance, let's say in this case, low literacy rates is caused by, let's say, lack of adequate schools. So that's how we define the problem, and this particular stage in the policy life cycle is called agenda setting. So after we define the problem, we try to find out what are the possible solutions, right? In this particular case, one of the solutions could be to build new schools, other would be to hire home tutors. So this step of finding socially and economically feasible solutions would be called as the policy formulation phase. So after we make a list of possible solutions, what do we do next? We go to different stakeholders and try to find out which is the best solution, right? For instance, in this particular case, the Prime Minister might go to legislatures, his cabinet of ministers or bureaucrats to find out which is the best solution. Now this is called the policy adoption phase. So after we finalize which is the best policy intervention or the best solution, what is next? We put the policy into action, right? In this particular case, building new schools or building new educational facilities would be putting the policy into action. Now this is called the policy implementation phase. So finally, after all these processes, the most important step would be to understand whether the policy has worked, right? Because only if we understand whether a policy has worked would we able to design the next policy and make it better. So now this is called the policy evaluation phase. In this particular example, it would be trying to understand whether, after implementing this particular policy solution, whether it has resulted in an increase of literacy rates in the country. So in essence, evaluation is like a super smart detective. We are looking at multiple things like, did the scores go up? Are the kids happy? Are the parents happy? Are the parents getting involved in it? And so on. So evaluation helps us kind of adjust the policy in such a way that it is better the next time. It's always about learning and improving. So now let's discuss gender evaluation. In this particular example, for instance, let's say we build a learning facility like a library, for instance. And while evaluating, we found something very interesting. This learning facility is almost always packed with young men, and women and girls rarely visit them. So why does this particular thing happen? Maybe it's because of women feeling unsafe during dark hours, or maybe they have other responsibilities at home. So this is where gender responsive evaluation for transformation comes into play. In this particular evaluation, we are not just looking at the policy in itself, but on a deeper level on how it impacts different categories of people. A regular evaluator might say that the policy is a success because we build a particular facility and then the participation rates have gone high. But gender responsive evaluation for transformation looks at how this particular policy has impacted multiple sections of the people like women, children, people who are disabled, and so on. In this particular case, a gender responsive evaluation for transformation might look at things like, why exactly are these people being excluded from the policy? Why are certain sections of the people not receiving the benefits of the policy? And it might suggest things like having better street lights or having better inclusive policies to understand the social norms, behaviors that are contributing to these kind of exclusion and things like that. My project takes this a step further. It is looking at how to strengthen the training programs of these evaluators in the Asia Pacific region. My project is titled Enhancing Evaluator Capacities, Addressing the Technical and Gender Responsive Training Needs in Asia Pacific. It focuses on ensuring that these gender evaluators get the right training and have the right skills and competencies to ensure that their policies make a difference. Now, why is this so important? Well, historically, many of the evaluation methods that are in practice today came from outside the region and may not be fully apt or fully efficient in addressing the unique challenges of the region. So my project critiques this by focusing on three main ideas: decolonization, localization, and complexity awareness. First, decolonization. For a long time, ideas about how things need to be done, including evaluation, came from the West as part of colonization. So decolonization in evaluation means we move beyond this one size fits all solution, and we are empowering local communities to have their own knowledge and understanding into evaluation processes. Communities have their own definition of what is success, and they have their own understanding of what are their unique challenges. So in my project, we are focusing on improving methods in which these local knowledge and local wisdom can be used for evaluation. So the next one is localization. This goes hand in hand with decolonization. Localization is tailoring evaluation practices to match the local culture, tradition, language, and other factors of a particular community. So the purpose of localization is to ensure relevance of the evaluation and respect for the local community. Finally, complexity awareness. Life isn't always a straight path, right? So this is a problem with a lot of evaluation methodologies. They follow something called linear causality. So linear causality is an assumption where one assumes that a simple cause can lead to one effect, like a straight linear path. Now, when we look at complex big issues like, let's say, poverty and climate change, simple solutions aren't simple cause and effect. One small change can have multiple ripple effects. So complexity awareness in evaluation is about understanding this bigger picture and how different elements fit together. So my project is about training evaluators in the Asia Pacific region to be these kind of smart, innovative, culturally sensitive and adaptable detectives in policy making. So my project started in June 2025, and so far I have completed an in-depth literature review of almost all existing literature in this particular area, that is competencies of evaluators in the context of gender. And I am guided by two advisory groups. The first group is a peer network, and the other one comprises of global evaluation experts. I'm also doing a landscape analysis of almost all training programs that are relevant to gender evaluation in the Asia Pacific region, and I'm benchmarking them based on the competencies that these training programs cover. I have identified these competencies through my literature review. In addition, I'm also conducting several stakeholder consultations. I'll be sharing excerpts from my interview with them in an upcoming video. I'm sure you'll find it super interesting. The purpose is to validate findings through landscape analysis and literature review with the stakeholder consultation. The ultimate goal of the project is to create a competency-based curriculum framework for designing training programs in the Asia Pacific region that comprises of, or that encompasses, the technical, personal, interpersonal and gender transformative training needs. So to put it simply, my project is about helping evaluators in the Asia Pacific region sharpen their skills so that they can spot what is actually happening on ground. I'll be sharing more updates soon, including voices from local evaluators themselves. Stay tuned, the best insights are yet to come.